Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Dan here from CryOR. We are on week 7, I believe, of the devloggings, of the game making, of moving this company forwards. And it's been an interesting couple of weeks. I haven't been doing this devlog for 2 weeks because last week I did the Mega Drive, the love letter to the Mega Drive. So I did do a little bit of work here and there, but nothing major. There has been some major developments. No, there's been some major changes. Lots and lots of stuff is happening. Lights On, which was the working title for the top-down twin-stick shooter, that is now dead. That's no longer a thing. That's now finished. Okay. I spent a good little while longer trying to sort out the lighting system and seeing if I could save it, and the more time I sort of spent with it, the less happy I was with it. And although there is the argument there for, what do you do every time a game gets hard? You bin it, blah blah blah, and then start a new one, and then that one gets hard, and then you bin that, and then the cycle continues and continues on forever, and you end up with hundreds of unfinished projects, okay? Which is the way that things go. But that's not the way that this is going, definitely. That's definitely not what's happening. Okay, so what's happening is I've now got a collaborator. I've now got somebody that's helping me. So yes, we'll get to that in a moment. In fact, actually, no, we'll do that first. We'll do that now. Okay, I'll tell you now. That's good. All right, so I've mentioned it before. Josh, we are now officially working together. We are now officially doing game development together. He may very well be contributing to the YouTube channel as well, coming up. He may very well be contributing to the YouTube channel as well. I don't know. We just have to see how that goes. He may not want to. We haven't discussed that. It will certainly be cropping up on devlogs every single week. Whether or not he decides he wants to do his own devlog for the channel or whatever, that's something we need to cover at a later date. But here's what's happening. He had a number of projects that he had started, and I had my project that I'd started that I wasn't happy with. So what we've decided to do is we're now going to run 2 games at once. Yes. We are going to work together on 2 separate games with the idea that we'll be able to release these 2 games at roughly the same sort of time. Now that I've got somebody else here helping, and we've got some extra pair of hands, I can then hopefully set up the CryOR website, which is what I always wanted to do as well as part of everything, which will have devlogs and other articles and music as well. It'll have links to the music that's on the website because I'll be able to produce more music. There's just going to be all sorts of this. This is a very good and exciting time. This is good. Movement forwards in the right direction. So I suppose actually without further ado, this is Josh.
Hi, my name is Josh. Sorry for the lack of video, but I think Dan's going to use this space to show some of my stuff. Here's a picture of me making eyes at the camera on a boat, if you care about that sort of thing. Dan can just put that in the corner or whatever. Anyway, I have been making partial games as a hobby for years. I started by trying to learn Java and Python on the fly, but eventually turned to Game Maker when I realized that the only thing I really had going for me was my artistic skill. Since GML was simple enough for me to handle code-wise, and since the internet is littered with fantastic tutorials in simple code to self-teach the trickier concepts, I could enjoy making pixel art while mashing the keyboard until games happened. We're extremely lucky to live in a time when that kind of information is so readily available. With no formal training, I've been able to whip up a ton of tiny conceptual partial games, as well as a few standout prototypes that I'm actually pretty proud of. When I stumbled upon Dan's game-making journey, I was reminded so much of my own journey that I couldn't then not reach out and offer whatever support I could. Now here we are a few months later, and Dan and I are chatting almost daily. I'm finally working on a project with an end in sight. It feels like this long-time hobby could actually be turning into something of a side hustle. Hopefully I'm actually bringing something unique to the table so Dan doesn't think I'm just riding his coattails. But things are going pretty well so far, and I think we're both feeling pretty confident about setting some real goals and actually hitting them on time. Wish us luck.
I don't know why I have to wait. I don't have to wait. It's not like this is a live link. I can cut that in, can't I? Okay. Yeah, so proper excited about that. That was really, really good. This is good. So, he has currently got a game that he's working on. It currently has a working title of Super Amazing Taco Duck, or something. We generally just call it Taco Duck or whatever, or Duck Game. But Duck Game's already a thing, so we're not going to call it that, but that's what we call it. That's currently a side-scrolling platformer, and it's in very early development. We have some good movement. I've chuffing love his pixel art. It's really, really good, really, really cool pixel art, so that's good. So we have that in movement, and he will be able to tell you where he is with that. Part of that is something that he's brought over from a previous project, and he's merging some other bits as well, like from what I can gather, the buildings or the building designs, they are randomly generated, so it should theoretically, all the bricks for the different buildings will look slightly different, and the placements will all be slightly different and stuff. I need to drill down into that a little bit more. I'll be honest, I've never done random generation, so in fact I haven't done fuck all really. So what am I working on? Right, okay, I'm glad you asked. It's a very good question. I am working on a game. When I described it to him, it was effectively Asteroids on Acid. It currently has a working title of Astro Blasto, or something of that ilk. And again, it's a top-down thing, a top-down shooter, and this was so that I could sort of save some of the controls and some of the work I'd done on the other top-down game, and sort of move that over to this new one. As it turns out, not a huge amount of that is relevant, so I've mostly done it from scratch, but it's quite interesting how literally the amount that I learned from just doing that first game on my own. Although I've made lots of games using tutorials and following tutorials, you're being like led by the hand. You don't have to think for yourself, you don't have to come up with ideas, you don't have to problem solve yourself. So then when you actually start your first project on your own, it's a big thing, and there's nobody there helping you, and you have to think of everything yourself. And I look at the amount of progress I've made in this past week just with this game, and I'm already at where I was like at week 3 or 4 with the other one, as far as actual content that's good to go and playable, and I managed to rattle that out in a week. And I've also done I've been working on some music for him. That's not gone well, but that's a different story altogether. So I'll talk you through where we are with my game. I'm pretty happy with this. First of all, I got the movement in. I managed to get that working, and I got some parallax scrolling going on the backgrounds as well. They're just placeholders, won't take much effort to get those looking a little bit better. I just basically did a small square for the stars, like a repeating tile. So literally all I'll need to do is just create a much larger tile, so that when it repeats, you're less likely to notice that it's repeating, because it will be more big. And the same with the background one as well. In fact, the background one doesn't look too bad. That might not need doing. And there's currently only 3 layers. Effectively, you have the tile layer, which has got the walls on and all the buffers, and you have the first layer of stars, and then the second one. I'm probably going to have around about 7 in total, because there's going to be big planets moving in the background and all sorts. It's going to look absolutely wicked. It's going to look really, really good. And we have movement, and we also have shooting as well. The shooting is not as good as it could be. I've managed to get it so that when you're facing one way and you fire, the line of fire is perfect, but the moment you rotate, they kind of cross over, and that's because it creates the laser bolt, instance create, for all of those in the game maker know. It creates them at player.x plus whatever it is, like a couple of pixels on, right? Which is fine, but then when the player rotates, player plus X although it actually rotates where they're coming from, the player plus X doesn't move, so that means that the lasers end up crossing over and end up looking a bit weird. So I need to somehow work that out, probably with pi. I think Pythagoras theorem will be coming into that at some point, but I don't know yet. But I'll fix that, and that's fine, and if not, Josh will fix that. This is the joys of having a partner. So that's that, and I've also now got collision with the walls, and rather than having it where you can run along the walls, you will actually be bounced off those walls, and I even have it now so that a shield comes around here. So again, it's placeholder, it needs better animation, it needs a little bit more work, but the actual code for that to work is there and good and going. So I can just tweak and improve the code, the actual assets, to make it look a little bit better, without having to really do much work as far as the code is concerned. That's just artwork, and that's something that can be added later on in about 5-10 minutes. You just add some new pixels, some new sprites, sorry, and just change some frame numbers, and that's it, and away you go. So, and that's all looking good. You're bouncing around, you're firing, and it plays really well. Like, it's quite telling. When I did the top-down shooter, I would basically play it, make sure that things worked, and pot around, and that was about it. And a few people had sort of had a go with it, and they're like, yeah, it works, it's fine, that's fine. And it was really uninspiring, and I wasn't particularly happy with it. This one, I've played around with it quite a lot, and I've spent a lot of time getting the mechanics, the actual movement right, so it felt good, so that you can rotate at a good speed, and you can, and when you hit the thrusters, you feel like it's going, and that's good. That will be added when we have jets coming out the back. Again, that's another piece to be added. But yeah, so I did it, and then I sent it over to Josh, and sort of said, yeah, what do you think? How do you think it's going? And the first time he sort of went, well, considering there's nothing there, I've been playing it for quite a while now, so it just feels quite good. Today's actually been a ridiculous day. I've been through to York. You'll actually see this is going to be a Wednesday video. I've been doing all the filming for a video that's going to come out on Wednesday. Now I'm doing a video that's coming out tomorrow, Sunday, today for you, tomorrow for me, because I'm out all tomorrow. So effectively I've done 2 videos today. I haven't edited them. I'll be editing this tonight, and then they'll get launched staggered over the next week. So yeah, it's been a really, really busy day, which is why I'm a little all over the place. So where was I? So yeah, so Rob came around today, and I said, oh yeah, this is what I'm working on now, and he like literally just sat there for like sort of 5-10 minutes, just kind of spinning around, shooting, bumping into walls, bouncing off walls, aiming, throwing himself at walls, and then trying to turn at the very last minute and then blast away so that he didn't hit the walls, but he left it as late as possible. And he said exactly the same thing. He was like, considering there's nothing there, this plays really good. This is it's an engaging experience, which is the key to all games. That is the fundamental key. When you have a look at the whole kind of minimum shippable product, which Extra Credits has gone on about, and I believe was it Mark Brown went on about something with game feel as well, like what happens if you strip away everything from the game. Like what about with Mario? If you strip away the Goombas, if you strip away the coin collecting, you strip everything, how does the movement of Mario feel? Does that still feel good? When they tested Mario 64, they spent months just running Mario around in a wall with a couple of blocks to jump on to make sure that all the movement and everything felt good. And then after that, it's just a way to explore those mechanics through level design. And that's kind of the key thing. If you can get the initial game to feel good to play, even when there's very little there, you've already won half the battle. And this already does feel good. I'm really happy about that. It's already on its go. And Josh's duck game as well, even though there's only one room, I've jumped up and down and around with that, and I've been like waving the sword around all over the place as well. And that, again, you can tell he's spent the time to make sure that all of the jumping mechanics work and feel good. You can tell that this isn't something that he's just kind of started. It's a previous project that he's worked on, and he's pulled bits out of that and then to start this one as well. So yeah, things are going really good. I'm really happy. This is good. This is DevLog week 7. Week 8 obviously will be next Sunday. Over this next week, I mean, I've got a video, I just need to edit it together for Sunday, which is going to be another retro buying haul. We've just been through to York and bought some more games. I'm proper stoked about what I've got as well, so that's good. Basically, I'm going to get that all sorted and done, and that means I've got plenty of time over this next week to really dive in and do some more stuff. I need to get some music sorted for Josh's game, and I also need to do a ton loads more to mine and get it actually sorted, get the laser things fired sorted. I've also got some more mechanics with regards to the ship movement I need to get in, and I'm going to possibly start trying to sort out the shields as well, so that you actually have a health bar and get all of that in place as well. I'm going to try and do that over the next week, and then it's just enemies, levels, and bosses. Oh, music as well. Music's going to be really cool as well. I'm looking forward. Again, I have not done any music production in like nearly a year. I did a shit ton loads to set this channel up, so I had lots of music to play in the background. You know, not lots, but you know, a good cross section in some music. And I've not done anything. And like over the past week, I've gone back into Fruit Loops and started tinkering around and playing around in there. And I was just like, yes, wicked! I'm gonna get to do some more music then, because I mean, I just love it. I love doing music. I love doing pixel art. I love making these videos, and I love making games. So it's just good, the whole sphere, because like I've spent a lot of time banging my head against games or just doing video editing. It's good now that like I've been able to go back and do some more pixel art and do some work on that, and I've also been able to go and do the music as well, and it kind of keeps you fresh, you know what I mean? When you get sick of doing music, when you get sick of doing the pixel art, you go and you do the game making and the programming, you know, and with the video editing and stuff like that. When the way that I'm running this, so that I'm doing a really heavy hard work video that takes me like a full week's worth of editing and filming and writing and researching and all that kind of work, and then really get focused on that, and I don't do any game design, I don't do anything whatsoever. And then when I come back the following week to start devlogging and I'm fresh, I feel ready to go, and it's really good. This whole system seems to be working really well, so I'm happy. Hopefully you're happy. Don't worry, the top-down shooter is not completely abandoned. It will surface again at some point, but under a different guise. But this is all going well, and it's going to be wicked, and I'm totally stoked. Everything's good. Whee! So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. The numbers are going up, which is good. I like numbers up, not down. So, you know, subscribe and stay tuned for more awesomeness and videos of this ilk and other ilks. I don't know what an ilk is.